Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell if we spin around, I am at the carp syndicate water today, and once again we are here not targeting carp, but there might be a carp video coming up, maybe the next video or something like that. Just keep your eyes peeled. But today we are targeting, once again on the LURES, we're out after the perch. I've only targeted these in this lake once. I think it was back in February, March, April, I can't remember, but I've landed one decent sized fish. I have no idea what the stocking is like of perch in here. I know there's a handful of really good sized fish. As for the small ones, I have no idea. So this is all about how I would go around targeting a new venue for the first time when it comes to perch. We're not going after the giants. If they come along, they come along. We'll just have to catch in as many fish as we possibly can and try to unlock it. Right, it's time for me to go through exactly how we're going to do this today. Now, because we sort of want to unlock this lake, find out exactly what's in here, I've gone with a light setup, and I've only brought one setup with me. I want to stay mobile, I want to be moving around a lot, moving between swims, trying to find these shoals of perch. So I've only got a 1 to 8 gram rod with me today, paired up with a size 1000 size reel with 10-pound braid on there, and we're going to be changing through leaders. Fluorocarbon leaders for the really microscopic tiny little jigs, moving up to sort of 11-pound wire traces when we're using crankbaits and jerk baits. It's just about working through every single bait option you've got, every single type of retrieve you've got, to try and find out what the perch are wanting. And once you've figured that out, you can then hammer those spots in the hope of trying to get a few to the bank. So I'm going to go through some of the baits I've got right now, and then we'll get onto the bank, and hopefully I'll put my knowledge into fruition and we will catch a few perch today. Oh, so I may have only brought a light setup with me, but we've got bait options for days, because 1 to 8 gram in the perch world is actually a rather broad spectrum, especially when you're on a still water and not having to compete with currents. So from the smallest baits we've possibly brought with us today, these are some of the smallest, just a couple of inches in size, just a worm imitation baits, the sort of thing you would use, let's say if the perch are very finicky, if there's lots of really small perch that just want a little worm imitation, if they're not really feeding aggressively, that can be great. And it can be a great bait to sort of start off with, although if you really want to find those fish nice and quick and move around fast and have quick retrieves and hopefully get on a fish, you want something probably more like a spinnerbait or a really fast moving crankbait, spoons, something that can move through the water very quickly, loads of flashing action, quite small yet again, the smallest you can get away with, sort of 3-4 centimeter baits, and that will allow you to try and find these shoals of perch, because these perch will work in big groups. Bigger perch, you'll tend to get them in groups of 4 or 5 at a time, or at least that's what I've found on the rivers and canals, and then when it comes to the smaller perch, the wasps, those sort of fish from 1 ounce up to about ½ pound, they'll hang out in groups of 20-30 fish at a time. On bigger lakes, I'm sure they travel in even bigger shoals. So if you land a small little tiny crankbait or little spinnerbait through the middle of that shoal, you know at least one of them is going to come and attack, and the moment you get those rattles on the rod tip and you get that first perch, you know you can work through your baits one after another to try and get those perch to take it. Now if we're walking around the lake and we want to upgrade our size of perch that we're catching, I've actually got a bait in my pocket right here. We can work over to something like a larger spinner bait or soft plastic bait. This lake's quite weedy, so this bait I've got here right now is actually a jig with a little spinner blade attachment on it. You could also use something like a chatterbait, but when you're using something like this, you better make sure you're using a wire trace, because that is not just perch candy, that is absolute pike candy as well. But this is the sort of thing that if you're fed up, if you've caught 100 little tiny perch already, which is what I'm hoping to do today if the numbers are in here, and we start to get bored, move over to something that size. Those little perch can't take it, and only the big ones will come in and take that. I mean, a bait this size, you're probably expecting perch 6 ounces plus. So targeting that slightly bigger size of fish. So that's going straight in my pocket, because that's going to be getting used at some point in this session, I'm sure. So I hope that's given you a rough idea of what I'm doing today. I will go through the baits and their actions as we work around the lake, and hopefully we'll find a shoal of perch or 2 or 3 shoals of perch, and we can absolutely bag up. That is the aim for today. And hopefully, if you're new to this sort of thing, I might be able to share some tips that'll help you guys out too. Let's get cracked on. It's a nice little weedy area, so going with a little soft plastic. Hopefully we'll find something around here. Let's have a look what's around here. Oh, there we go, there's a perch straight away. There we go. Oh, there's a wolf pack down there. There is a wolf pack. Look at that. Absolutely nailed the spiky. Oh, came through in a sketchy area there, but I think he's all right. Beautiful little fish. Just got my foot on the net in the water down there. We'll see how many we can get. I definitely saw a shoal chasing this bait in then. It wasn't just that one fish. Oh, the big hit. Just had something big hit it then. It might not have been a perch, it might have been a pike, but either way I don't think it'll come back now. Must have felt the hook. It was a big old slammeroni. It's come back for whatever it is. It's flying, it's flying, it's flying. Is it a big perch or is it a pike? It's a pike. Sometimes a pike can be really active, you see, you know, like this. Eat me, eat me. Doing this love aggressive pike. Oh no, I was trying to play with him. No, no, no. I wanted to keep playing. Let's get him straight in there. Oh, that's fun. Little spiky. Oi. There we are, he unhooked himself. That was good. Little jackpot, we'll get him straight back. Although I think these water conditions are actually really cold. I'm surprised. So I actually think fishing for pike on here would be all right. Off he goes, look. I'm gonna chuck our little perchy back, who's now just had a heart attack after having the pike in the net at the same time. So this is a nice looking swim. As soon as I got here, I realised it sort of shallows up to around the back of the island just here. We've got loads of weed, and then it sort of starts to drop off here and we lose a bit of the weed. So it's going to be a really good ambush point. And then, as I was looking out, a couple of bait fish jumped out in front of me, which tells me there could be some perch lurking around here. So I'm just going to make some long casts at the minute. We're just trying to search for fish. That was a terrible one because it went right into the weed. I'm hopefully going to try and find some shoaling perch. There we go, straight away. Look at that, you see? Came to a swim. All the signs were there to say fish. There's another one. I might need a different bait on. They're absolutely demolishing this little soft plastic. Obviously not very big, but there must be plenty of them. It just got absolutely annihilated on the way in. Then, are you ready? I'll catch one. There's another tap. And again. And again. If I put on a little crankbait or a little spinnerbait, I'm sure I'll get one of these easy. Oh my God, there's so many fish down there. Absolutely perfect. All this cover, all this weed, little bait fish jump in. There's had to be perch down there. Oh, there we go. There's one of them. That's one of the little guys. It's been taking me bait on the way in. And there's absolutely stacks of them in this area. Only small, but really good fun on the ultralight stuff. Like exactly what we're doing today. Just trying to catch as many of these things as we can do. I've just seen one just there now. Now I've had a few casts out with that soft plastic now. Getting loads of perch bumping into it, so I've actually downsized. I'm actually going to go over a little jerk bait. It's probably the smallest hard bait I've got. Only about 6 centimeters, I think. 5 centimeter. 4 centimeter? I think it's 4 centimeter. Don't quote me on it. This thing is going to get demolished first cast. Now, I'm probably jinxing myself now, but I have a lot of faith, let's put it that way. Little tiny weeny jerkbait that's going to get demolished first cast, as you can see. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, beautiful looking perch as well. Absolutely pristine. Now, because I've got a feeling there's a few perch here, I'm just going to drop them in the net and drop them into the margin. Clear away some of this weed. It's not very thick, it's just surface stuff. I'm just going to sit him down there. We'll just see if we can catch a few perch here. You never know, we might be able to get some good numbers, especially if we crack the code. And I think this little jerkbait is going to be absolutely spot on for catching these fish. There we go, there's another one. The wolf pack behind it, there we go. There it is, there's just stacks of them down there, absolutely stacks of them. Another beautiful perch. I might end up getting quite a few here in this net. Well, I think we're just about exhausting this swim of the perch now. We are getting the odd follow and the odd twitch. So there is the odd fish still hanging around down there, but definitely not as many as when we first got here. There's another one there just as I'm saying it. But before we take a look at all the perch we've just caught and move on to pastures new, so to speak, what I might do is put on a slightly larger bait, maybe a larger crankbait or jerk bait, or maybe even a larger soft plastic, and just cast it sort of beyond the bounds of where I've been catching these smaller perch, in the hope that maybe there's some bigger ones lurking on the outside of these smaller perch shoals. Obviously, big perch are cannibalistic and they will chase around the shoals of small fish. Real nice, slow, steady retrieves. It gives the perch loads of time to take it. The fish in this water aren't pressured, so I don't need to do anything too fancy. Just make sure the bait is in front of the face. Nice little bit of action to it. There we go. Oh, yep, still on. It's a slightly better fish, I think. Oh, only marginally. It's probably on the upper size of the fish I've been catching, and he's an angry one. Put your fins down. Changing over baits, getting a bit of extra distance, getting some bonus fish now before we move this swim. There can't be much left down there to catch. Right, let's take a look at these perch. Well, I was hoping to show you guys a net absolutely heaving with fish, but I didn't take into account that my net's got holes in it. I must not have checked it after last time. I've only got 4 perch left in here, all generally around a similar sort of size. You know, around about 4 ounce, 3-4 ounce. I had probably about 10 to 15 fish, but as it appears, them holes in the net have allowed the smaller ones to get through, and then a couple of the bigger ones have plugged up the holes, got stuck in them, like this one here, and stopped the other ones from escaping. Never mind. You saw me catch him, I've got evidence. So yeah, I had loads and loads in there. Let's move on. I'm showing you guys how to empty a water of the perch, and we're going to do that. We're going to carry on around the lake. We've currently got about 43 mile-an-hour gusts at this moment in time. This is the only bit of refuge around this corner from the wind. The rest of the lake, it is howling. Wish me luck. There we go, fish on. Hey, there's a slightly better perch. There we go, put on a bigger bait. It's absolutely choked it, look. Definitely bigger than the ones we've caught so far. Bit of a spinner bait. I'm actually gonna put this one in the net because you never know, there could be some more down there. There we go, that's a perch. Yes, I knew there'd be some more around here. Where you find one, there's normally more, especially those small sort of size ones. Look at that. Absolutely choked it, look. from my understanding of nature and things on the floor, I could probably tell you there's a mouse under there, or a snake. Definitely not a mouse and a snake. There's a mouse nest and a hole, so there has been a mouse under there. There we go, fish on. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take that. Yes. On the crankbait, decent little handful. Finally picking out some slightly bigger fish. Well, it was starting to seem that my plan was coming together, moving between spots regularly and constantly changing between the baits. I'd finally found a shoal of perch that was slightly bigger. No monsters, but within just 15 or 20 minutes, I'd got 5 or 6 perch that were clearly miles bigger than the ones I'd caught earlier on. Well, we've caught a stack of perch in the net, although I don't know how many have escaped through the holes, but we've caught probably 5 or 6 perch from this swim now. It's time to go out there just with a swim bait, just a little white paddle tail swim bait. White is one of the, I'm gonna say one of my favourite colours for targeting big perch of anyway. Don't know why, it's always done really well for me over the years. I only got a 2 gram jig head on. It means I can work it quite slowly. I'm going to be working it quite low down in the water because the crankbait I was just using to get all those perch only worked in the first sort of few foot. And I'm thinking, if there is any big perch around, even though I doubt there is in this area, because we probably would have seen them chasing those perch, and if there was, they will probably be lower down, I'd imagine. That's my thinking anyway. So I'm going to work this quite slowly and quite low down in the water column, and fingers crossed we might pull something a bit bigger out. There's some weed there, that's great, that's what you want, isn't it? And when the wind is as bad as it is today, if you're fishing a bit more finesse style like I am now, not just constantly reeling, I'm actually giving it some twitches and pauses, make sure you got your rod tip right down close to the water. Otherwise the wind is going to just ruin your sensitivity. Let's say I'm doing this, look, jigging it up here, got a big bow in the line as the wind's pulling it. So you keep your rod low down to the water, less resistance from the wind, get a bit of a better presentation, and keep contact with your bait and feel for the bites as well. Yep, there we go. Hey, on the upper side of the fish I've been catching. Wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing right then. Look at the way it ate that bait. Almost can't see it. Greedy guy. Nice fish though. Well, that is a respectable little net of perch. No monsters. These two are probably 2 of the biggest ones in the net, although they're all roughly about the same size. That sort of 5 to 6 ounce. But we did have a few smaller fish, but they've gone through the hole in the net. I think I had a total of about 6 or 7 fish in this spot. So we're catching plenty of fish, just none of the big ones. After that flurry of action, I did work my way around the lake with some larger lures, but unfortunately didn't manage to find anything giant. So I came back to that last swim we just looked at and decided to use some of the smallest baits I'd got in the tackle box, some little hard baits, and the action was wild. Every single cast there was a perch to be had. Watch. Oh God, it's every single time. It's like an absolute joke. There we go, there's another one, look. It's every single time. It's a shame that my net has got holes in it. because I bet I could easily, in some of these swims, with the right bait, when you find what they're wanting in that one spot, I could easily put away 20, 30 fish in a spot, potentially. And some of these are actually decent little chunky sizes, especially for the ultralight gear. And they're all absolutely pristine, possibly never even caught before. Let's get him back. Oh, well guys, as you can tell by the sunlight, it's starting to dip. I've fished basically all evening. Had a really great session, fished for a total of about 4 hours, and I've caught absolutely stacks and stacks of perch. And sure, the biggest fish has probably been no bigger than about half a pound, but my God, you can't not have fun on days like this. It makes up massively for those sessions where you go out and maybe you only get 1 or 2 bites in the whole session. It's been non-stop. In some swims, it's been pretty much a fish a cast for about 10 fish before it starts to drop off, which is absolutely awesome. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. I hope that maybe you've taken a little something away from this. I know it's pretty basic. Just work through all your different baits, work as many swims as you can, cover as much water as you can, fish as smaller baits as you can get away with to find the fish, and then straight up bag up. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like I've mentioned earlier on, I might be doing some carp fishing on here, so keep your eyes out. If you want that, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm sort of working over it over several either really early morning sessions or late evening sessions, just going out 3 or 4 hours at a time and trying to catch myself some carp, which I don't ever do. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you guys later.